Hi, my name is Madonna and I'm an accidental perfume influencer. This is true. I've always been fascinated by fragrances. I've always loved fragrances, but I didn't know how big the online community for fragrance lovers are. And one day I randomly stitched a video on TikTok which went viral, which led me to create more perfume content, and here we are today. I am very new to collecting fragrances. I like to support, let's say, underdog brands. So when I first started off, I talked a lot about Middle Eastern brands because I used to live in Dubai and that was close to home. It is so inherently part of their culture, and so I spoke a lot about Middle Eastern fragrances and brands, which is also included in today's video as well. I am very new to this and definitely so new to this particular channel, so if I make any mistakes, please forgive me. Today we're going to talk about my favorite fragrances for 2024. I know I am so late at this. Everyone has done it and posted in 2024, but here I am, beginning of 2025, trying to make this video catch up on my content because I'm a new mom and I've also just moved countries, and my husband fell sick, and then my very young son fell sick, and then here I am again trying to catch up on content and get this video through to you guys. Today I have two lists of favorites, shall we say. The first one is my favorite fragrances that were launched in 2024. Of course, I haven't tried all the fragrances that were launched in 2024. These were the few that are within my vicinity that I had a chance to try and acquire. The second list is my favorite fragrances that I acquired in 2024. These are fragrances that I have full-size bottles of, not samples, and I'm so excited to share the list with you guys. Here are my favorite fragrances that were launched in 2024. The first one is Guidance 46. She needs no introduction. Canton Biche and Renaud Savin has done it again. The OG Amouage Guidance is so beautiful, but it didn't really inspire me to make a purchase immediately, but this one is different. The moment I smelled this, I knew instantly that I had to have it. This is such a beautiful fragrance. It is more creamier, nuttier. The addition of bitter almond on top of that hazelnut makes this so well-rounded and beautifully creamy. And then the pear in this in the Guidance 46 is ripe and syrupy, which is all enveloped together by the beautiful smoky essence of frankincense, which Oman is famous for, and Guidance is an Omani brand. Guidance 46 has 46% perfume oil concentration. It is an extrait de parfum, and this is beast mode. The first time I tried it in a store in Dubai, I came home and I washed myself because, you know, I have a small baby. At the time, I think my son was like 3 months old, and so I really washed myself and I could still smell the fragrance. So I washed myself again and I could still smell the fragrance, and to the point that I had to take a shower, and I thought the fragrance had left me, and I was like, okay, fine, like I've washed it off me now. But I was so wrong. The fragrance transferred to my towel. So my towel smelled like Guidance 46 for so long that I had to launder my towel. So this is how beast mode it is. You have been warned. Next on my favorites list is Musk Pure Musk Blend by Khadlaj. This is a very old formula, but it has been launched as a fragrance to all of us in 2024. This beautiful musk fragrance is a creation of the founder of Khadlaj, Muhammad Iqbal Abdul Sattar. He used to make this special musk blend for his friends and family, and they used to always come back to him asking for more. So only his close-knit loved ones enjoyed this formula until in 2024 this formula was released in a perfume spray format for all of us to enjoy. And let me tell you, this is such a special musk fragrance. It is so beautiful, so light, so airy, so fluffy. It is ethereal. You can conjure up the color white, which is really appropriate because it's snowing outside right now. This has a beautiful touch of tea, some green notes, and very powdery facets. This is a clean girl fragrance, if you will. It's such a special fragrance that I actually wore this at my baby shower. Nowadays, everybody is looking at the beast mode fragrances. Everyone is asking for recommendations for beast mode fragrances, but there is something so sophisticated and elegant about the restraint of Musk blend. This is so light, so beautifully blended. This is a masterfully crafted Musk fragrance, Untold by Ghawali. This is the fragrance about hidden desires and memories, the conversations that you have in your head. And this is my favorite patchouli in my collection so far. This is a very beautiful fragrance that opens up with eucalyptus, which is lifted by this bergamot and orange notes, and then comes the patchouli, which is wrapped in caramel and praline, giving it a touch of gourmand facets. I really enjoyed this fragrance, and recently I tried La Lune by Chanel on the recommendation of Demi Rolling. I know she's been raving about that fragrance, so I went to try it, and this and La Lune share somewhat of a similar DNA. They're not the same at all. There's something very similar between the two of them. So I would say if you're a fan of La Lune, then you might like this one. This is patchouli forward, so you have to love patchouli. It has a very creamy facet to the patchouli as well, along with the very interesting eucalyptus opening, which I so adore. So this one is one of my favorites from 2024. Swiss Arabian's Tobacco 01. Swiss Arabian launched Vanilla Toffee and Tobacco 01 in 2024. I am a Tobacco 01 girly through and through. Last year I discovered that I really liked the tobacco leaf note, not the tobacco note, tobacco leaf note, and I absolutely enjoyed Tobacco Toscano by Santa Maria Novella and Chirgui by Serge Lutens. But tobacco as a note could be quite tricky in my opinion. It can be quite heavy and strong, but the Tobacco 01 by Swiss Arabian is a very palatable tobacco fragrance. So if you are getting into tobacco notes, then you will really truly enjoy this fragrance. It opens up with this apples and plum and pink pepper and licorice, and it has a very interesting savory facet added with that cumin. I know a lot of you were worried about cumin because it can smell a bit body odorish, but I don't get that. Cumin is there just lightly to balance all the sweetness in the opening. There is also honey, which is so beautifully done at the base of this fragrance, and this for me is such a gorgeous fragrance from Swiss Arabian. They did so well with Tobacco 01. Fursan White by Khadlaj. It was so challenging to pick only 2 fragrances from Khadlaj this year because they came up with some really good fragrances. Sarah and Musk Pour Amber were 2 major contenders to be on the list, but I decided that I had to pick Fursan White for this list. This is a beautiful fragrance that opens up with bergamot and jasmine, but the star of this fragrance, in my opinion, is the coconut, almond and vanilla that lends this really creamy, really powdery nuance to the fragrance. It's a beautiful fragrance. If you are someone who loves Vanilla Powder by Matière Première, then you will absolutely enjoy this fragrance as well. First on the list is number 007 by Floris London, and based on the name, if you thought that this has something to do with the James Bond films, then you are right. This fragrance was launched in collaboration with Floris to celebrate 60 years since Dr. No was released. I visited Floris London's store in Jermyn Street in London last year, and if you're in London, you have to visit the store. It is their original store, and at the back of the store they have a small museum where you can find receipts and fragrances that you can still smell that their very famous clientele have bought, including Marilyn Monroe, Winston Churchill, Florence Nightingale, and of course the creator of James Bond, Ian Fleming. Ian Fleming apparently wore number 89 fragrance from Floris, which was introduced 1 year before his first book, Casino Royale, was released. To the fragrance itself, I fell in love the moment I smelled it, and oh my god, this is a spicy and citrus fragrance which is so beautiful, it is light, and it is so old money. Like, it is, I don't know, almost like an English gentleman's barbershop smell kind of vibe. That's the vibe I'm getting from the smell. It is so beautiful, and I would have to refer to a few notes because there's a lot of nods to the James Bond series that that is included in this particular fragrance, which makes it so special. So this fragrance has juniper berries, a tribute to Jesper Martinis, named after Jesper Lind, Bond's one and true only love. I believe this was played by Eva Green in Casino Royale. Bergamot, lemon, and sweet orange as the nod to the beautiful Italian landscapes of movies such as From Russia with Love and Casino Royale. Rose, which is the national flower of England, so that makes sense. Smoky red carnation, which is a nod to Sean Connery's iconic white dinner jacket look in Goldfinger, which later was recreated by Daniel Craig in Spectre. All these notes are beautifully encapsulated in earthy oak moss, like the landscape of Bond's family home from Skyfall. Overall, this is a sophisticated and a beautiful fragrance. If you have a chance, you need to try 007 by Floris London. Lune Féline by Atelier des Eaux. Atelier des Eaux probably make one of the most beautiful bottles in the whole perfume industry. Look at this beautiful floating gold flakes. I don't know if you can see it here. Yeah. So yeah, I know Lune Féline was launched in 2015. I don't know why I slept on this brand for so long, but I am so glad this is in my collection because this is exactly how I like my vanillas. Smoky, dark, rich, and cocooning. And Lune Féline to me smells very similar to By the Fireplace by Maison Margiela, which I love smelling on my husband, but I love smelling this on me. This is a beautiful combination of cardamom, cinnamon, vanilla, balsam. It is rich, it is beautifully smoky, it is dark, and this is just perfect for the colder weather. Great Way by HFC Paris. Look at this beautiful bottle. It just kind of gives you an indication of what the fragrance is going to be about. This is a beautiful take on a Middle Eastern style fragrance by a French company. This fragrance is inspired by the Silk Route and the travels and the nomadic lifestyle. And this fragrance actually reminds me of a hot, sultry day in the desert being served kahwa, spiced with cardamom, and a side of warm loqemat, which has been drizzled with a generous amount of date syrup. So HFC Paris did a great job in encapsulating that vibe, that mood in the desert. This is a cardamom heavy fragrance, but it also has oud, it has saffron, it has ginger, it has ambroxan, and it also has a touch of cannabis, which adds a very different kind of depth to the fragrance. Opulence of Dubai by Swiss Arabian. I've already made a longer video about this, so I'm going to keep it short. This is a rich, dense, and a beautifully opulent, like the name suggests, fragrance. It has cardamom, which is, I realize, is in almost all the fragrances that I liked last year. Cardamom, chocolate, coffee, amber, there is ginger, there's pink pepper. This fragrance reminds me of a sun-drenched warm afternoon in the old part of Dubai. 9 p.m. in Saudi, Oud Oil by Ghawali. There are very few oud fragrances that I enjoy, and this is definitely one of them. This is a very beautiful, sweet, spicy, and syrupy oud fragrance. This fragrance is supposed to encapsulate the mood and the vibe of Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. If you have ever lived in Middle East, you would recognize this fragrance. To me, this fragrance represents the Khaliji lifestyle, the Khaliji people, their warmth, their hospitality, their absolutely rich culture, and this little bottle gives all of that and more. If you have a chance, you need to try 9 p.m. in Saudi, Oud by Ghawali. This, of course, is if you love oud. You will love this. If you don't like oud, then yeah, this one is not for you. But that is all. The conclusion of this extensive list to me is that I do have very distinct notes that I enjoy, such as cardamom. There's a lot of ginger in that list. There's a lot of pink pepper in that list as well. So this year, 2025, I hope I can expand my olfactive journey and experiences, and I hope I will find other notes that I will enjoy. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video.